They fought our wars with the promise we'd take care of them when they came home.
But tonight, 2 days before Veterans Day, our investigative reporter Mike Baudet is here with a story about a home for veterans that will make you wonder if we're living up to that promise. What do you have for us, Mike?
And Mark, for some of our former soldiers, the state-run Soldiers Home in Chelsea can be the only alternative to homelessness. We're about to show you what we saw inside the place, and you can decide for yourself if this is the kind of home our veterans deserve. The Soldiers Home in Chelsea, home to nearly 300 veterans. It's impressive looking from the outside, but inside our hidden cameras find a different story. Residents say this shower has been like this for months, rusty nails and all. There's peeling paint, exposed wiring, and this used to be a TV lounge. Now it's an empty room. Veterans should be living in renovated rooms here, but the project's been abandoned for a year and a half. The story gets worse when you hear from some of the veterans.
We are not being treated well at all.
Ed Janelle thought he would live out his days at the Soldiers Home. Now he's not so sure.
You think the shelter's better than this place?
Yes, that's my personal opinion.
What kind of things aren't they doing here?
Basic, cleaning the bathrooms. You see feces on some of the seats, and it'll be there for a week or two.
Janelle says he's complained, but nothing's changed. He's not the only one who says his complaints are taken lightly.
I don't even know where my things are.
Veteran Steve French and about 15 others used to live in this building, behind this padlocked door. Their rooms became infested with bed bugs. The home told them to leave for just 3 days so they could exterminate. Those 3 days turned into about 8 weeks and counting when we spoke with French.
All he would say was that we're going to go through things, and if we think there's bed bugs involved, we're going to dispose of them. We don't care if they're Bibles, family albums.
Another casualty of the bed bug infestation, empty TV lounges like this one. About 8 lounges have been empty now for months.
So the guys have nowhere to go to just relax, watch TV, play a game of cards.
And there's a deeper concern. French and others say some residents are obviously suffering from mental illness, but not getting any help that they can see.
It's more like they're warehousing them. They just lay in their beds. A lot of them will stay up most of the night and just sit and stare or wander. One guy in my area there is late 20s. He stays up all night washing his hands, and he'll sleep all day. And they don't do anything to try to better him or get him some more help.
How would you rate the conditions at the Soldiers Home?
Extraordinarily good.
Michael Reska is the home's commandant. We were referred to him by the Governor's Office of Health and Human Services, which oversees the home. We talked with people who live there who say they've noticed the conditions have deteriorated. Is there a problem keeping the Soldiers Home up to par?
No, I don't believe there is.
Those complaints about poor housekeeping, Reska says there's no problem with cleanliness, just frustration over layoffs.
I think those complaints may be more generated by the fact that they've lost their favorite or preferred housekeeper.
19 people in all were laid off earlier this year. At the home, it hasn't gone unnoticed that 2 friends hired by Reska, Stephen Powers and James Fay, kept their jobs. Powers is in charge of the kitchen, and Fay is the adjutant, the second in command.
They are my friends. They have been my friends for a long time.
You laid off 19 people, but you didn't lay off your friends?
We focused our layoffs on non-direct care people. To tell me that Steve Powers, who runs our kitchen now, prepares probably, 1,000 meals a day, I should lay him off before, and that simply does not make sense.
Perhaps, but it looks like there's room for improvement. This is a picture of weeks-old oil in one of the fryolators. And French says he found a bug in his oatmeal.
It had the crunch when I was biting it, so I put it on a napkin, and it was round and hard. It looked like a little beetle.
Are the veterans there being treated properly?
Absolutely.
Why are they complaining if everything's so great?
I can't answer that.
Do you think they're being disrespectful to veterans?
Absolutely. Very much so. A lot of these guys have decorated heroes, Purple Heart, the whole thing, and they're terrible to them.
Now, the state also runs a soldiers' home in Holyoke, which has its own problems. The superintendent resigned last month as part of a deal to avoid prosecution for his alleged role in illegal asbestos removal. Maria?
And Mike, we were talking about this before. There actually have been some improvements since you started asking questions.
That's right. There have been some improvements in Chelsea. Just last week, the commandant says he began ordering new furniture for those empty TV lounges. All the veterans are back in their rooms after the soldiers' home finally found an exterminator who could handle all those bed bugs. And those half-renovated rooms could have veterans living in them as soon as early next year. This story started with a tip. Do you have an idea for the next Fox Undercover investigation? Give me a call. 1-800-TV-FOX-25. I'm Mike Beaudet for Fox Undercover.